bunch of emails from the person who contact people for, so, I don't know if I have your email. You want to give me your email, and then I forward it to you. And then, because I'm also going to add your cell phone number and stuff, and I can tell them that I'll remind you to get them either your so what is your email?
You might have my whole phone number.
Oh, I might, yeah. So you don't want to.
I'm going to call the meeting to order. We have 6 o'clock.
It went from Concord and we could find it, and the next day we looked at it there.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
Just a reminder, this meeting is being recorded. We're going to open public forum. Does anybody have any discussion of anything that's on the agenda tonight? Seeing none, we'll move on. We have the minutes for the March 10th, 2025 meeting. Everybody have a chance to review? Yep. Can we have a second?
I'll make a motion that we accept the select board minutes from the March 10th meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Adam's aye.
Vandal, aye. Up next, we have appointments and resignations. Board of Registrars, Sue DeBruin, resignation.
I'll make a motion we accept the resignation of Sue DeBruin from the Board of Registrars.
Second.
Any discussion?
I would just like to thank her for her service.
Yes. As well, yeah. All in favor?
Adam's aye.
McGuire, aye?
Vandal, aye. Next up, we have Board of Registrars, Teresa Lombard, for a 3-year term.
I will make a motion we accept the Teresa Lombard for the Board of Registrars for a 3-year term.
Second.
All in favor?
Adam's aye.
So do I.
McGuire, aye?
Vandal, aye.
Is Teresa here tonight? Well, thank you for stepping up.
Thank you. Next up, under new business, the first one on here is Board of Health cleaning quotes and annex air quality. That's going to be tabled, as there's nobody here from the Board of Health to discuss that.
So I make a motion to table the Board of Health cleaning quotes and annex.
Second.
All in favor?
Adam's aye.
So do I.
McGuire, aye?
Vandal, aye.
Nothing. Very good.
All right, next up is Brimfield Elementary School roof report. That's also going to be tabled for the April 11th meeting.
I make a motion to table the school roof report to the following meeting, April 11th.
Second.
7th, I'm sorry, April 7th.
April 7th.
Second that.
All in favor?
Adam's aye.
So do I.
McGuire, aye?
Vandal, aye. Up next, we got discussion with building committee.
Good evening.
How are we doing?
Mike Egan with the Building Committee. We're here to ask if we want to do a special town meeting on May 7th.
Can you speak up just a little bit?
Sure.
Come closer to the
Is that the microphone? So I'm Mike Egan with the Building Committee, the chair, and we have requested a May 7th special town meeting to vote on the feet for an addition, about 4,000 usable. And that's the project the development committee would like to recommend, because that helps with also future growth, for better layout, better design. We do have some headroom restrictions that might require little ceilings on the other designs, so that's why we're moving forward with this.
Is that why it went from 11.1 to 11.3?
We're still discussing a couple of BE options, but I don't want to take them on yet until we commit to them. The original project was at 12.5, and that's where we got down to the BE of 11.3. And then we have the debt exclusion I sent in today, along with the warrant article, which would have to go, I guess, to the town council and you guys for approval. And the other piece of this is the fire suppression system, which is another warrant article out there. If it doesn't go with the water project, it will increase probably close to $1 million to do that project alone. Or to do it with this project, because you have to bring all the facilities to the head of the building. You put a second building for that fire suppression.
George has been following that closely.
Yeah, so basically, I guess, not everybody here has a copy of the drawings, we can hand them out, what we have. Basically, what Mike is saying, and the building committee is saying, is that this project is a public information meeting that was a couple months ago, that was 2, 3, well, it was in December.
This is the second, we have another one coming up.
Yep.
In April.
So basically in December, we had a project, a public information meeting, and the project was at 12 point something million. And then the building committee went back to the drawing board to try and see where we can cut back a little bit. And one of the big changes is in the original design, they were building a second floor above the existing Great Hall. The Great Hall is going to be reduced in size. This plan now eliminates the second floor, and we get to keep the table. So there's some plus there. There'll be a little reduction in square foot to Great Hall because of the elevator stairwell that would be going in, like you see in these plans, roughly. And that's one of the things that the building committee is still working on. What is an elevator, like what that'll look like and stuff. So they've got some options to still iron out, but they're at about 11.35 million for this project. So I think the timeline, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, there's a public information meeting in April, and today they'd like us to set a special town meeting to vote on this project for May 7th.
May I ask what has to be done? All right, so if we set that meeting for the 7th, what has to be done? Are we time crunching here?
Yeah, so it is, that's what I was going to get to, is that it is an aggressive timeline. What would have to happen really is basically tomorrow, the warrant for the special town meeting would have to be sent off to the financial advisor. Town council has to look at it, and then it has to come back to us for approval. We sign it off, and we're good to go. It is aggressive. It's dependent. Really, I don't see an issue on our end. It'll be more an issue on trying to get it back from, right, the advisor. And if we set the May 7th date, and for some reason we can't make it, we would change that, right? Rescind that and make an adjustment, and we wouldn't send anything out in the mail. I think we have, 2 weeks, right? I think we have a week before, like Chris and I were talking about this today again. I think it was before the town clerk's here. I think it's like a week before the special town meeting, like the mailing has to go out, and
No, for a special town meeting, it's 2 weeks.
2 weeks. So it's aggressive, but I believe we can get there if we can get the other parties to get the providers.
And in the event that we can't, what would be the backup?
There's been some conversation of a couple different things. We can hold a special town meeting, July, August, once we got stuff back. And then we can, because you have the special town meetings to basically approve the project, and then we have the debt exclusion that the townspeople have to vote on about it for the funding of that project. Okay? So then we'd have to have another ballot vote election, come come the fall, or summer's in there,
For the debt.
for the debt exclusion. Now, one thing that we floated around already, that if we can't make this special town meeting, we may still be able to put the debt exclusion on the ballot, on the election ballot, that would be in June. So people would vote on the project. We still have an informational meeting, and so people are well aware what the project is, and you know, hopefully they would support the funding for the project. And then if we did it that way, then we have, within 90 days, we have to have a special town meeting, again, for them to approve the project, right? Ballot vote is for the funding, special town meeting is for the actual project. So that's why I think when I was reading through all this and some conversations over the last week, that's why I'm saying I think we try to shoot for the date, see if it works, if we can hit the timeline right. If we can't have a special, really, if we can't have a special town meeting, then by May, we still get the ballot question out for debt exclusion. That saves us from having to do another election, save the town people some money. A little work for less work for the tax, or the town clerk. And then we just hold a special town meeting after that vote.
Within 90 days.
Within 90 days, right. I prefer us to hold a town meeting in May, just because, you know what I mean, you're in the summer months, you know what I mean, people travel and so forth. But, you know, at the same time, at least at May, I feel we'd have a better turnout at a special town meeting. That's all. But if we can't, you know, that's why I think we should try and meet. If it doesn't happen, then we shift gears. We just look at it a different way. The sooner, I think, at this point, the project, it might, correct me if I'm wrong, but right now, they're there. Like, we're at that point where, you know, we need to approve their project tonight so they can move forward with this, and then, you know, the longer it drags out, you know how costs are. You're all you know.
So right now, we're putting together the presentation for the annual and the April implementation. So there's a meeting first with all that information. So all the information out there for the special conference.
And this is, and all this information that you have here, this has gone to both our accountant, our town accountant. Has she seen this?
I don't know if your town accountant's seen it. We've been talking with them with finance meeting. So she's been there. I think she knows about all the numbers. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if she's there. No, she's not here.
I guess I just want to make sure that you know, that everybody that is involved has seen these numbers before we vote.
Would be nice for it to happen.
Right, I think if any, like I said, right now, with FinCom has been working with the building committee to figure out the cost per thousand. And so I know that part of it's done. So I think by tonight, by us approving them to move forward with this project stuff, they can now get it over to, you know, to the finance drawing plan.
And we're also looking for the board's support on the project.
Right.
Right, and I was going to ask that as well, because I see that there's several boards and committees that you listed that are
Yeah.
supporting.
And
Have they voted? Like,
What we're gonna do tonight, that's what I'm hoping tonight, is, I know the ballot question, he was an example of what it would be, so we need to approve that tonight. The select board needs, it would be 2 votes, that's how I see it. We'd have to vote to basically approve the project that the building committee is recommending to move forward with, you know, so they can then go to the, you know, the next couple of steps. And then the second motion would be to set the special town meeting for May 7th. So that's in play too. So when they get what they need, they can continue moving with the project, that's all. And if May 7th doesn't happen for whatever reason, you know, it's unforeseen, then we can always rescind that vote. We can cancel that special town meeting, that's the terminology. You know, so tonight, basically, that's right, that's what you're asking for us, is permission for them to move forward so they can take that next step and get it going to the other people that need to be, you know, because of the ballot question. Right, the ballot question, right. Yeah, because it costs, like, town council, it costs money. If we're not gonna support that, then there's no.
No, exactly, no, I just want to make sure the townspeople, because they're the ones that are going to be session.
That's probably what I want.
Yeah.
If you don't have it somewhere.
A pretty decent time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The information, what's the date in April?
It was 6.
Just so that the residents.
I forgot to print out the email I sent you guys.
Yeah, it was,
16th would be a Wednesday.
Yeah, it's a Wednesday.
it's a Wednesday.
Was it?
Yeah.
16th?
The 7th, right? You asked me about the 7th?
Not the 16th.
The 16th.
April 16th was on the committee, right?
16th.
May 7th is also electing on Wednesday as well.
Right, we just have to, those dates, right, we still just have to get them confirmed with the school. Again, moving forward, if they don't have our permission and approval, then it's fruitless from the doing of this, so it's really where they're at with us tonight.
Yeah, exactly, so we'll go back to the historic commission. Come up and make sure that 100% on board.
Yeah.
And back to finance and finance as well.
Someone will make a motion to.
I mean, can I just say one more thing? So I asked, through reading this, I mean, the warrant article, obviously, I think there's some wording that needs to be done. Obviously, I'm not a legal counsel, but I see some glaring things. So I think that's gonna need some serious work, so I'd like to state that.
Right, and it's still.
I know.
That's it, no,
I know,
right, and
I know.
I'm the same, so
Right.
I think that's part of tonight, because
Yeah.
that'll go to get
Yeah,
cleaned
yeah.
up.
So that'll come back to us, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I did some research on how it's supposed to be written and what the best.
Yeah, I know, and we're all just trying our best.
All right, I'll make a motion that we approve the project presented by the building committee for the restoration of the town hall for $11.35 million to move forward to the next phase of the project.
Second that.
All in favor?
Adam's aye.
So do I.
Bar, aye.
Randall, aye.
Next, I'll make a motion that we hold a special town meeting on Wednesday, May 7th at 6 p.m. here at the elementary school cafeteria for the approval of the town project, the town hall project as presented by the building committee. Yes.
Second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Adam's aye.
So do I.
Bar, aye.
Randall, aye.
Thank you, Mike, and your committee for all the work you've done on this project.
Yeah, and we've been getting a lot today.
Yeah.
Because where we're at now.
It's getting close. Ready? Thanks, Mike. All right, up next, we have the Council on Aging fiscal year 2026 budget. Come on up, Ethan.
Hello, everyone. I'm doing well. How are you?
Good.
Good. Okay, the budget I submitted, the only request I had was to increase the salary for the outreach worker. In previous years, she was paid completely by a grant. That grant was cut to $8,000 this year. We don't know what's going to happen for sure next year, but she is right now at $18 an hour, which is less than our clerk's. And so I wanted to at least bring her up, what was it, 19, somewhere. 1942 an hour. Having said that, I know there's been talk about the benchmarking, the steps. I don't know where you're at with that. And
We're
I'd like
actively
to-
trying.
Yeah, I know you're trying, you're trying. But will we have the opportunity as department heads to go back to you, go back to FinCom and change our requests?
So, if I may, we have been working, just so everybody knows, Crystal, myself, the chairman of FinCom, and our accountant have been working over the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks on this, on the benchmarking. We have stuff in play. To answer your question, my understanding is that we will be able to either FinCom, if we can get, there's about a handful, roughly a handful of clerks. And what we did was, we took the benchmark that Collins and the job descriptions they sent us and that we had, and we, instead of trying to do a benchmark for all the employees across the board, we chunked into smaller pieces to try and get it across the finish line. So we really focused on the clerks for the most part. And what we noticed was the senior center clerks, the library employees there, clerks, and a couple others that were way below benchmark. So that's really, we're adjusting. I'm sure FinCom can let us know if they can adjust that for, that's one of the things we have to find out. I think they can just go ahead and make an adjustment if the select board says, go ahead, let's get this moving. Yes, we'll get an answer for you.
All right, great.
Because I like to see it happen. I think, I think we're gonna try and see if we can get another meeting scheduled to have the job descriptions in the benchmark to talk about as a board. Like I said, we decided that at the 2 meetings ago, that we wanted to have just a board meeting to discuss just that. So we can, bring everyone up to speed and what we've gotten done. And we're gonna try and see if we can do something next week.
All
So
right, that's great,
we're on
that's
time.
great. Clerks aren't the only ones underpaid. but
No, I know
yes,
that. I know that. We know that.
start
I think,
somewhere.
right, that was it.
But I
We
just
don't-
wanted to mention that, there are others that are,
Yep.
like the outreach coordinator, that are way under.
Which, we looked at that too. That was
Yeah.
one, right, which you adjusted.
We are trying.
Yeah.
We are trying to make
Okay.
progress.
Well, that's good, that's good. Okay, so for now, this is what I've submitted. My clerks, myself, are all at the FinCom's recommended 2%. I thought that might go up too, but I don't know if they're considering that at all. So it's only the outreach worker I'm looking for a little bit more for.
Right, and just, I'll share with the board, the outreach coordinator. I actually talked to Becky, I think probably had about 6 or 7 conversations since she's been on board. And I mean, Eva can speak on her behalf too. She's been doing a phenomenal job. Definitely, I've heard positive feedback from people that she's reached out to. They like the idea that we do have an outreach coordinator, and people are actually using it. And I see other programs that's being offered that we haven't had in the past, which is great, through the senior center with her help and stuff like that. So I think it's an important position to have filled, and it's our residents are definitely benefiting from it. So it's important that we support it.
Yeah, I agree. Becky's been doing a great job.
Yeah.
She's got time to put into it. She's enthusiastic. So I can't say enough good things about her.
And so you're asking for the $19.42 an hour?
That's
And how many hours does she work?
15.
Well, I make a motion to accept the Council of Aging FYI 2026 budget.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Adam's aye.
So do I.
McGuire, aye.
Dan, a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very hard work. All right, up next, we got the select board fiscal year 2026 budgets.
Over here. Discussion?
Is anybody-
Chris, I know Chris shared some stuff with me, because I got a lot of the answers I wanted already, but if you just share the IT, what the computer maintenance increase was, that's the biggest one, but share with us.
The only significant increase is the computer maintenance. The biggest increase in that is the Barracuda backups, which back up the network. That had been paid for by a grant for $10,000. That grant ran out. To continue with that would be 3 years for $9,648. At the moment, Pasqua is backing up the network. They do not really want to continue doing that, but they also won't, immediately be cutting us off. The only other real additions are getting a encrypted license, premium license for the treasurer so she can deal with several things through email that she currently can't. That would be $240,
And that's part of that increase?
yeah. And then I added $1,650 on top of what's contained in this spreadsheet for just IT wants to begin in FY27 kind of a rolling replacement of laptops. And this would be just because computers are at that point in case anything, on a case-by-case needs to be replaced, or we need an additional laptop here or there, because we are at the end of what we have.
So has everybody had a chance to look at this? This is the first time I've seen it. I haven't had a chance to look at it. So.
Right, like I said, when I looked at the budget, the big increase was computer maintenance at 23%.
Which goes from $61,040 to $75,000.
Right. I can say, and again, I didn't talk to Tantasco IT today, but in the past, they've done really well trying to keep the grants for us, and Steve actually does a lot of that, so I'm sure they'll, but we have to budget that we don't have it, right? And then see what hopefully comes down the pipe. And I will say, I know the encryption software that we need, that service for Treasury needs to happen. It should have happened last year. There's concerns in one of the IT meetings where, we have employees sending information to, our treasurer and treasurer, and I mean, they're putting like social security numbers and like things like that. He's got to be careful of. So that's what that encryption is all about. That really needs to happen. Just the safety of our employees and their information.
So we don't know how far this is yet. When we will know for any grant?
I don't know. This is what has been put together, kind of updating last year's spreadsheet, going over with Steve Rich, who does the day-to-day of our IT. And these were kind of all the costs he saw for coming year, so I don't know if he's anticipating being able to get a grant to pay for this in the future. But this is something the town does need for its system. There would be the option of going with a 1 year, but that would be $5,000 and change for 1 year versus the 9,600 for 3.
Can I get a motion?
Yep, I'll make a motion that we approve the Board of Selectmen Town Hall Town Hall and Town Report fiscal 26 budget.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Adams, aye.
So do I.
McGuire, aye.
Vandal, aye. Up next, we have an annual town report to select a cover photo.
George, did we get any? Oh,
They're in our packets.
They are?
We got 5, I think. No, I didn't count
I
them.
think there's 4 or 5
So the second grouping of them did not print well, so just keep that in mind that they look
Right.
better in how they were sent than in how they are presented right here.
Yeah, out of all of them, there was one I saw that had a picture of like a barn in the field or something. It's actually a pretty nice photo. But I don't see it in this grouping.
And remind me, is the cover's gonna be in color?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't see the.
I mean, there were some nice photos. I mean, I'll leave it on the table. People can look at it. There were some nice photos of the Northern Lights.
did like that barn one as well.
Yeah, that barn, and I don't see that in here.
I believe it cropped with how it printed because it was embedded within the email. It did not, the printer did not.
Yeah, the barn would be like better. Yeah, there was, right, so there was this field one, there was, I'm just looking to see where I think that's actually, it's a private home, is the harvesting hay, I think that's that one. The one in the lake. Yeah, I don't see.
Oh, wow, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, the one, where is it? Yeah, the one in the barn. That's actually another private home. It's a barn in the fall. Out of all the ones, that's the one I like.
I agree. That's a
I
great.
did too myself.
Yeah.
They submitted it, the owner submitted it, okay.
I don't, yeah, they submitted it. They submitted it.
That's neat.
So just for anyone that knows, we've had running on Facebook for about, what, 3 weeks or so, photo contest, and maybe a couple of the others that we have will stick in the book somewhere, just
In the back.
in the back,
Yeah.
right, or throughout the book. Basically, we're looking for people to submit photos. We got, like I said, 5 or 6. But I thought we'd get more, seeing how there's a lot of photographers posted on social media all the time. It's really nice stuff. But the one in the barn is the one I like.
Saw that.
Yeah. I
I
have,
think that's the one.
it could be, yeah, it could be property. All right, so I'll make a motion, let me do this, I'll make a motion, I just need to look up.
Did you make a motion?
Yeah, I'll make, I'm just looking for the, there was an actual, in our packet, I thought there was there. I'll make a motion that we accept the photo for the barn in the fall, submitted by Brad Maxfield
Second that.
for the town company. Yep.
All in favor?
Adam's aye.
So do I.
McGuire, aye?
Dan's alive?
But I would like to see the other photos used as well.
Yeah,
So now,
just
yeah.
use the other photos in the book.
Chris, can we get a thank you letter out then?
So, yeah, that submitted, we should send a thank you for it. It's good point. Thanking those that took the time to send it.
George, how about, Facebook?
Yeah, I'll do the same thing on Facebook. Yeah, now that we voted.
That was everybody for submitting.
Yep.
Do you want to use whatever I put together for a thank you letter for Facebook or?
Yeah,
should I do
if
two
you can do
separate?
that, that'd be great, Chris. Just shoot out to me and I'll get it up on Facebook.
All right, up next, we have the Select Board Annual Town Report. Everybody had a chance to...
We did. Today, I didn't print it off this, put it in the packet. There was just a couple things on the report that I did send to Chris. Thought it maybe did go out to all of us, but just want to add a couple more things to it. And one of them was, on the report, under the section, the board, the goals that we set for, for this past year. Permit Pro, how we continue, working on that to improve Permit Pro and so forth. And then there was something else. Oh, the Trant property. The select board, I think the residents need to know, we've been working hard with the DEP. For those of you who don't know, Trant property, that's the property heading towards the Brimfield on your right. Well, I'm sorry, and Brimfield heading to Palmer. It's the big pile of tires down the woods that front that old building and stuff. That is work in progress. I mean, right now, that particular property, I think owes back taxes of over $1 million. It's a brown site. Select board members before me have been, moving this along. So I took it on, almost 3 years ago, and I stay on top of the DEP, and we actually did get this year, they did get some funding. Senator Fatman had reached out to me, and we got some funds, and they did do this test water samples around certain properties to make sure that the PFAS are good, and they are. We got those results at the last meeting finally, so And I think that sample was done back in late summer, early fall, just to get an idea of how long it takes to get reports from DEP. So, but I think that needs to be added to the report too. Just so townspeople know that, you know, we are continuing working and trying to see. And the DEP, in one of the emails, she did tell me that she's trying to find some funding to help get rid of most of the tires. That's been, for those residents that have been in town for a long time, those tires have been, that pile there is small compared to what it used to be. So it is work in progress. I think that just needs to be added to the report. Everything else is fine, you know.
Now, do we go list these?
No, we used to make a motion to approve it. If we can approve it with